Hi guys, my name is Ruby Linkhurst and my project is about the coronavirus and how it affected air quality. So just looking back over the 2020 year and the United States complete shutdown, I believe the following air quality parameters such as AQI, ozone, and PM 2.5 for April 2020 will be lower than that of April 2019. Because the shutdown included closed stores, travel restrictions, etc., the amount of traveling the average American did in a day should have decreased. Therefore, the amount of emissions should have decreased, meaning the air quality should have improved as a result. So for this project, we are going to look at AQI, ozone, and PM 2.5. AQI stands for the Air Quality Index, which provides an indicator of the quality of the air and its following health effects. It typically ranges from 0 to 500, and 101 corresponds to the level that violates the national health standards. For ozone, there are two different kinds of ozone. There's ground level ozone and stratospheric ozone. Ground level ozone is the one, that's at ground level, and that's the harmful kind that we're going to be examining. It's created with oxides from nitrogen and volatile organic compounds, and it can be created by cars, power plants, chemical plants, and refinery emissions. And PM 2.5 stands for particulate matter that's 2.5 micrometers or less in diameter. It comes from organic chemicals, dust, soot, and metals, and it can be found from trucks, cars, factories, etc. For my project, I had to find a reliable website that reported the past AQI, ozone, and PM 2.5. I had to determine a range of data to examine. I decided to look at the 5 most populated counties within the United States, and I had to calculate the weekly averages for April 2019 and 2020. And then I had to compare the statistics and determine a causal conclusion. The 5 most populous counties within the United States can be found right here. I looked at Los Angeles, Orange, San Diego, Harris, Cook County, and just for an added bonus, I looked at our home county, Allegheny. So as you can see, I calculated the AQI, ozone, and PM 2.5 for each week for Los Angeles. The stay-at-home mandate was March 19th, which is prior to the dates I examined, and as you can see, there is a difference in between the 2020 and 2019 data. I also noticed an abnormality within the last week where the data for the 2020 year is higher than 2019, and this is actually common through most of the western counties. Cook County displayed fairly the same data as that of Los Angeles, however, it is more towards the northeast, and that might explain why in the last week the data of 2019 is still higher than that of 2020. Harris County followed the same patterns as the rest, however, the 2020 data for the last week is higher than the 2019. San Diego's 2019 data is still higher than that of 2020, however, unlike the one in Los Angeles the last week, the 2019 data is still higher. However, while Orange County follows again the same patterns of the previous weeks, their 2020 data for the last week is higher, just like Los Angeles. And finally, our home county, Allegheny. Although the stay-at-home mandate was much later than the rest, you can see that the patterns are fairly predictable and the 2019 data is higher than that of 2020. What does this all mean? As I predicted, the 2019 AQI and ozone is consistently lower than in 2019. However, several counties, particularly those in the West Coast, show that the last week of April 22nd to 28th in 2020 is higher than that of 2019. The PM 2.5 generally follows the same pattern, however, there have been several dates in several counties where the 2020 levels have been higher. There is not much of a difference visibly, but the standard error is too inconclusive to tell. And there is other research that shows similar findings, and to create a more conclusive answer for myself, there'd be more data that'd be necessary. When I first started this project, I believed the 2019 AQI data would be much higher than that of 2020. Because no one was out during the start of lockdown, this should have decreased the amount of emissions leading to less pollution. I was correct with my prediction, however, the actual data was not as consistently low as I thought it would be, and PM 2.5 did not seem to follow a trend. Although this is a smaller data set and the answers are honestly really inconclusive, I hope this taught you a lot and it really showed you honestly how much humans have an impact on our global emissions. So thank you for listening. Have a good day.